right round. Stop! Back! Stop! Sit down! Round! Come! Behind! G'day, gentlemen, how are you, mate? It's going to be a bit rough today because I'll flicker over. We're just moving sheep, if you can see it all the way out there. Cam, round. I'm well, yeah. I'm got a bit of a sore throat going on. I've been doing snake shows for the last couple of days. Behind. But yeah, altogether doing pretty good. I'll make sure I can keep these messages up. Here we go. What are you up to today, mate? Get well, glad you were live streaming. Yeah, I try to. I'm a bit limited with what times work because half of you guys are in the States and it's like 8 o'clock, well, I don't know, 8:30 or something in the morning. G'day, Shannon, how are you, mate? Working. Oh, you work in a grocery store or something, don't you, gentlemen? There we go, we'll see if we can cast her around. I don't know if you can see this on the live stream. Cam, round. A dog walker. I got a dog here today. She walks herself though. Cam! Stop! Here. Here. Border Collie? No, it's a Coolie. It's an Australian breed, but they do the same job. The goal is to get the sheep from there to there. And after that, we'll let them walk themselves down the laneway for half an hour or so because they've got some lambs on them. But yeah, just slowly plodding them along today. Round. Excuse the noise, we'll shuffle on up a bit. But I felt bad, I hadn't talked to you guys for a little while. So I thought, why not drop by and say hello? It's a pretty cruisy day. Not a bad office. Yeah, it could be worse. How do I spell Coolie? K-O-O-L-I-E, or Australian Coolie. The internet might show up as a German Coolie, because even though they're bred in Australia, their descendants came from Germany. There we go. We're slowly getting here. Cam, back. Cam, stop. Stop. Cam, round. Oh, turn it around. How do we do this? There we go. How many lizards do I have? My brother is wondering. I don't know. Somewhere between 30 and 50. Coolie, yeah, that's it. K-O-O-L-I-E. So they're merle as a general rule of thumb. You get them spotty. They look a little bit like a cattle dog to somebody who doesn't really know them. Cam, stop! Sit down! Cam! Sit down! There we go. We almost got him over there, look. Well, that's a lot of lizards. Yeah, it is. Cam, here. Cam, get up here. There we go. Sheep are through the first gate. We'll turn on the bike again, so excuse the noise. But we'll let them potter themselves down. Got to find my work dog again. What kind of sheep do I have? I'm not sure if you can hear me at the moment, but we breed it what they call a composite, which is a mix of several different breeds. There's a bit of Coopworth, a bit of Texel in them, a bit of white-faced Suffolk, and they're producing meats. We do shear them, but their wool basically goes into carpet. We do have a few merinos on the place, which are wool sheep, but yeah, we're basically slowly moving towards meat sheep. These aren't my own, these are at work, but I have a couple of hundred of my own at home as well. Because as much as I'd love to, snakes and lizards don't pay all the bills. Hang on. Cam, get up here. Good girl. Got 2 kelpies, and they're hopeless at trying to herd cows and sheep. Cam here, hang on. Cam here hadn't seen sheep until she was 4 years old. She was given to me as a failed work dog. And yeah, we got her going all right. You know, they're just like people, I think. It's not as simple as working sheep or working cows. I've got 3 dogs on the go, and I've got 1 that I'm training. And Cam here works mostly in the paddock, and she does a little bit of yard work backing sheep and things. I've got another dog, Spud, who's a coolie as well, and he does most of my cattle work. And you know, some dogs work better in the yard, some dogs work better in the paddock. No different to, you know, not everybody could be a carpenter, they could be a teacher or a snake catcher or something else. So, what was that, John? Do all our sheep, hang on. Are all the sheep girls? Not at the moment, we've just finished lambing. So we've got about 4,500 lambs, so they're half and half, boys and girls. We've got about 4,500 ewes, which are females, and about 50 rams. Yeah, 50 or 60 rams here, which of course are the boys for breeding. You don't keep them all as rams. All the lambs here, all the male ones, we castrate them, which is what we call wethers, which is going to be a bit different to all the stuff I normally talk about. But yeah, I just missed you guys. I thought I'd say hello, and I'm by myself for the rest of the week. So I thought I'd drop by and say hello. It's a pretty cruisy day. Who else is out there? I thought sheeps are girls and goats are boys. No, sheep and goats are different animals. It's kind of like saying dogs are boys and cats are girls. Yeah, they're they're a bit closer than that. They're more like horses and donkeys, I suppose. But yeah, no, a goat is a totally different animal. Yeah. If you put the two together, they produce sterile offspring. So their babies can't breed. Do I know the Titanic, like the ship the Titanic? I'm familiar with that in the movie. Is that what you mean? Cammy's catching her breath. Good girl. All she wants to do is go back to work. Say the magic word and she'll be off like a rocket. We'll follow these guys up a bit, eh? So yeah, do you mean the Titanic is in the movie or the ship, or another Titanic that I'm less familiar with? Don't know. Sorry, this will be a bit of a loud live stream, but like I said, it's mostly to keep me interested. Yes, the Titanic, the ship that was sunk when people thought it was unsinkable. Yeah, nothing's unsinkable, is it? Are they called geeps if they're a hybrid? I suppose so. I've never actually met a hybrid. I've just read that they're genetically possible. Nobody wants them because you could produce better sheep than you can crossing the two. You know, like when we cross animals, it's usually for a reason. Like, not that many people in Australia do it anymore, but it's still pretty common in the States. You create mules, you cross horses and donkeys, and you end up with an animal that's as strong as a donkey, because donkeys are pretty sturdy animals and sure-footed, but a bit taller, a bit faster, a bit sleeker like a horse. Crossing a sheep and a goat, you're not going to get the benefits. You're going to reduce the wool by putting a goat over it, and yeah, probably reduce the hardiness of a goat by putting a sheep under it. So yeah, we just breed sheep. Yeah, I do have one pet goat at home called Hillary, and she's a headache. We love her, but she is a headache. You can keep a sheep in a lot easier than you can keep a pet goat in. Both are good eating. Yeah, they are, But unfortunately, it's not about how good they are to eat, it's about how good everybody else thinks they are to eat. And if the average Joe in Melbourne doesn't like eating goat, it's harder for us to sell goat, so we breed sheep. You know, most of the goat bred in Australia, as far as I'm aware, gets sent off to the Middle East and things. Yeah, there's plenty of things that are good eating that Australians turn their nose up at, isn't there? I've got a few Suffolk sheep and 20 odd cows. Yeah, well, we've got a little bit of white-faced Suffolk in the sheep here. And how many acres? We're on 1,800 acres on the property I'm on at the moment. 1,800. And yeah, the sheep are all composites, which means a mix of a bunch of different breeds. But there's a little bit of white-faced Suffolk. At home, I've got a Coopworth ewe if you're interested in sheep. And I'm breeding, putting a black-faced Suffolk ram over them. And the goal is to move towards a black-faced Suffolk. We get pretty damp here in winter, and they apparently do pretty good in the wet. A little bit more worm resistant. So, yeah. Cam's having an old break, aren't you? You gonna say hello, Cam? Sit down. Good girl. Is my dog a hybrid? No, oh, hang on. So the word hybrid is really reserved for the crossing between two actual species. So a dog and a dingo, or a dog and a wolf, or a dog and a coyote, that's a hybrid. Two different breeds of dogs mixed together, they're actually the same species. It's kind of like if you're half Chinese and half American, you're not a hybrid, they're both people. But she's a purebred coolie. Spud, my other dog, he's got a tiny bit of healer in him, I suspect, Australian cattle dog. But yeah, still not a hybrid, what we call, I suppose, a crossbred or something like that. Mongrel mutt, but they do the job. Don't you, Cam? Come on, get up here. So we'll shuffle these sheep up another 100 metres or so and let them slowly get to the paddock we want. We actually want to get just behind me here, but we've got to go all the way to the end of the laneway and come back. Because some clever person put the gate all the way down the far end of the laneway. Cam, behind, round. Stop. Good girl. Walk up. Back. Stop. Beagle cross cattle dog would be the best. Have I heard of a Zedonk? Yeah, I know people cross all sorts of weird things. It's kind of like creating ligers, lions, tigers, the same as zebras, donkeys. They're interesting. There's no conservation benefit. And like I said, when we generally cross, or historically crossed animals like mules, we were trying to create something better. Whereas my wife, she's at home with the little tacker. Yeah, we can't both be on motorbikes chasing sheep around. But yeah, I don't think creating hybrids, especially, you know, coming back to reptiles, because they're a bit more exciting than sheep. You know, producing hybrid reptiles, I'm really not keen on. Not that I think captive animals in the pet trade are ever going to be used for conservation, but any chance of that does exist is going to be greatly reduced when we start crossing stuff. Hybrids have no conservation benefit whatsoever. Do I know what a Lancaster is? No, doesn't ring a bell. Sounds like a Scottish breed of sheep or something like that. Beagle cross cattle dog, I think that thing would be a headache. I don't mind cattle dogs. If I didn't have coolies, I'd probably have cattle dogs. It's hard to get good cattle dogs because, like the coolie, people have bred them as pets and they've sort of bred the working ability out of them. Cam, back. But yeah, stop. Good girl. People have bred the working ability out of them a little bit. You can lose working ability really quick. But they're really, really strong-willed cattle dogs, which is fine. But I don't know if I'd want to cross that with a dog that ignores me and follows its nose everywhere it goes. You'd have a dog that follows its nose and is pretty convinced he's better than you, which cattle dogs have a little bit of an arrogance thing going on, which is part of the reason I like them. But they can be hardy enough as is. Where's Isabella? She's with her mum. Hey, Liz is looking after her. can't really put a baby seat on a motorbike. And you know, man's got to work, pay the bills, feed his family, keep all the reptiles happy at home. Just the ears and eyes. Yeah, it'd be a cool looking dog. I don't mind the hound dog type face beagles have. They do have dopey personalities. A pet beagle would be good. But I suppose I'm biased because most of my dogs, with the exception of Aztec, my dingo, who you guys might have met in some other videos, most of my dogs, like Cam, are working dogs. So I love them dearly, but they have to earn a living to really justify me spending the amount of money I do on dog food. So they help me at work. Best thing about working with dogs is there's no gossip or back chat. Sometimes they ignore me and they think they know better, but it's pretty peaceful. Where is Mrs. There isn't a Mrs. Petropolis. I'm not married, but the other half, the girlfriend, the wife, the mother of Isabella, she's at home. She's looking after Isabella. I think she's got some people coming over today. She's a hairdresser as well. So, yeah, somebody's got to stay at home. What's everybody else doing today? We've almost got these sheep to where we want to go, so things will get quieter after that. Cam behind me, good girl. Everybody else working today? Feeding the zoo, I know the feeling. I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning to start feeding things so that I could get here today. Behind. So I'm her actual dad. I'm her proper father, but just not married. That's why she looks like me. Enjoying the school holidays and watching my stream. Enjoy the school holidays, but are you still at school, are you? Or just got kids at school? Check it out how lucky we are this time. They've gone through the right gate themselves. That wouldn't happen if I tried it 100 times. You guys might be my good luck charm. Anyway, down behind. So yeah, no, I'm not the stepfather. She's well and truly mine. There's no questions asking that. Everybody thinks she just looks like a baby version of me. Dark hair and all that. The other half, not that you'll see the other half in a video because she hates the camera, but she's blonde. So, or naturally blonde. How did we meet? Through rodeos. Yeah, I ride bulls for fun and she rides barrel racing horses. In Sydney, I have 1 week left. Oh, well, enjoy it. Today is the first day back at school for local kids. All right, Cam. Leave my dog. Go around. Oop. So yeah, gentlemen, we met on the rodeo scene, I suppose. Stop! Sit down! Cam! Come here! Behind! Excuse the yelling, but you know, not much we can do about that. So what have you been doing for the school holidays? Dynamic Sid. That's good. An Ice Age fan, I like that. I ride bulls. Wow, you haven't been attacked by them. Never been attacked by one, but I had my collarbone broken by one who yeah, I fell off and he tripped over me and landed on top of me. So I spent 3 months in off work and wasn't allowed to ride for another year. And I actually gave up riding last year because Isabella was born and I couldn't afford to lose my job if I got broken up. But I'm thinking I might start riding bulls again this year. Who knows? Cam, round. Cam, stop. Behind. There we go, she's done it. Our last gateway. Cam, behind me. What's a good way to stop them from charging at you? Run really fast. Yeah. As soon as you come off, you've got to get out of the arena pretty quick. Feeding, cleaning reptiles. Do you have a big collection, Sid? Well, your name's probably not Sid, is it? Your logo is Sid, but yeah, do you have a fair collection of reptiles? Not that it really matters. I'd rather hear people keep one or two really well than keep dozens. And honestly, I made that mistake a few times in my life where I got really excited and I'd keep one of these and two of that and six of those. And I do that now, but you know, when I was younger, it was a lot harder. I lived at home and I was moving house or renting houses, and I'd buy all these animals and get more than I actually could really. They're all well looked after, but not to the level that I really think they should be. Hang on. They've got a couple of lambs who don't want to go in, and then I'll get back to your question, Jobbin. Come on, Cam, stop. Good girl. Done. How many teeth did dogs have? I don't know. I'll look that up when I get home. How's that? Ridged and riding motorbikes. Oh, yeah, I can never get into motorbikes. I'm on a quad bike just about every day for a living, so it sort of takes the novelty off it. I ride horses, even at home. When I move my own sheep, I do them on horseback, but at work we use the motorbikes. What did you say, John? Let me bring that up again. I'm getting slowly better at this. What if you were trapped? Well, basically, I don't know if you've ever seen a rodeo. We're not talking about reptiles very much today, but you know, it is what it is. I hope you guys don't mind. But basically, if you've ever seen a rodeo, you've got the rodeo clowns, the bullfighters, who their job's not actually to fight the bull. It's to keep the bull away from the cowboy once he falls off. And yeah, so their job is to get him heading the other way so that you can get away safely. Yeah, they're the bravest people, you know. I hop on bulls for fun. You couldn't pay me enough to be the bullfighter. You know, I hop on one, you know, every time there's a rodeo, which might be like 20 times a year. Those guys have to face up to 60, 70 bulls a night every week. Like, they're crazy guys. Cam, get up here. We're finished. We'll just head out of this paddock, but what did Sid say, hey? Ethan. G'day, Ethan. I'll try and stop calling you Sid. Got a Sandy, Ackies, Blue Tongues, Dragons and Turtles, only 13. You're doing well. I got my first proper pet lizard. You know, as a kid I kept garden skinks and blue tongues and stuff like that, which I didn't know what I was doing. I was a kid a lot longer before you were, and we didn't have the internet and stuff, so I'd pick stuff up out of the garden thinking that's okay and try and feed them, and when they wouldn't eat I'd let them go and I'd catch another bunch. Yeah, my first like proper pet lizard was an Ackie. What sort of sandy do you have? A Ghoulie or a Flavi? How old am I? I'm 28. Yeah. Do I have any siblings? Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5. So I've got plenty of siblings. And before me, there's a couple of half-brothers and sisters too. So, yeah, we're a bit of a clan, the Metropolises. And India, you've got 2 kinds of bulls, the Zebu and the Gur. Yeah, you've got other breeds over there as well, but you've got 2 main types, I suppose. The Brahmin, which is not only the bull we use in the rodeos, the bucking bull, but the bull that we farm in northern Australia comes from Indian stock. So they basically took him, and he was really good at surviving in the heat and the dry, and they crossed him with a few other things to make him a bit beefier, and he's the most popular bull in the northern half of the country. But the cattle we have here, which I have to move later on after I swap dogs, but the cattle we have here are Black Angus, the stuff McDonald's seems to like. Ghoulie. Oh, don't worry about your spelling, mate. I am the worst speller on the planet. Yeah, I'm a little bit dyslexic. But yeah, I've got a little female that I'm pretty sure is a Flavi, and I just don't know where I'm going to find a male. 28, you didn't know that? Well, there you go, a bit of a wicked wildlife, not animal related trivia. How's that? So yeah, well, how old did you think I was, Johnman? I should be offended. I'm not very easily offended, don't worry about that. But while I've got you here, we can park on up for a second and move on to the next job in a bit, eh? I've been going for a few hours already, so I think I deserve a break. Who else is out there? And what are we all doing today? Some of us are cleaning, feeding reptiles, and Johnman's working, or pretending to work and talking to me. Is it working hard or hardly working? That's what they say. Oop. Excuse the finger, I'm still trying to... I can bring up messages. I just can't keep them up. Sandies are so hard to find in New South Wales. Got mine from Melbourne. Yeah, well, you know, I'm in Victoria, but Melbourne's still 4.5 hours away. So, and yeah, they are hard to find, unfortunately. They should be more popular. They're a good medium size. I'm the youngest of 2 boys. His name is Johnny. I thought 30. Sorry, mate. Didn't. Don't worry, it's only 2 years. If you said like 62, I'd be like, geez, I got to look after myself more. But I suppose 30 is not too bad. I'll let that one slide. We can still be friends. Yeah. If you guess the other half was 30, you might be in more trouble. That's poking the bear. Oh, so on to actually some actual wicked wildlife related stuff. I've finally organised some shirts. 8! G'day, buddy. How are ya? I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I like teaching people from all sorts of ages. And you know what? I know this sounds a bit boring and cliche, but the reason I like teaching, especially primary schools, is I think primary school kids are going to be the people... Be right back. Don't worry, Ethan. I remembered it. Yeah. Get back when you can get back. It's all good. But, kitty cat, is it? Let me see. The awesome kitty cat. You know what? I think it's kids your age who are going to really make a huge difference for conservation. How am I doing, mate? Love my stuff? Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm sort of pretending to work. It's a pretty casual day here on the farm. So, got the dogs. We've just moved some sheep and chatting to you guys. But, yeah, basically, kitty cat, I think kids your age are going to save Australian species. And the reason being is a lot of animals that need help in Australia, people don't know about. The northern hairy-nosed wombat, there's like 250. The Gilbert's potteroo, there's 33. There's a heap of, you know, endangered species that people don't know exist. And it's not that we don't care, it's just you can't help an animal you don't know exists. And I bet you know, most parents out there, it's not their fault, but they're busy people. They can't be sitting on the internet looking up different exotic, crazy species that might be endangered. But kids your age, I saw you in Mount Gambier? Is that what you're saying? But yeah, I'm talking to you. I reckon I'm breaking up, sorry. I'm out on a farm, so we don't have brilliant reception. But basically, you know, I think, you know, kids your age, awesome kitty cat, the people who are going to be helping animals, because they're, you know, you guys have to do school projects on animals. You're the people who still do the learning. And when you have to do a project on an animal at school, like how many kids pick the koala? You know, I love koalas, but we know a lot about koalas. If you have to learn about an animal and you hop on the internet or crack open some books, if anybody does that anymore, and find an animal you don't know exists, look, you might not grow up to be a zookeeper or a biologist, but you might have to stand up in front of your class and tell 30 people what you learnt. If one of them grows up to be a zookeeper or a biologist and help that species, you did that. You taught them and they ended up making a difference. So I think, you know, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, primary school kids are going to be the people that saves the species. Because look, there's a lot of adults who are working very, very hard, and it's not to put their efforts down whatsoever. It's just that there's not enough of us. We need more people in the next generation. You know, if we've got 100 of us working on a species this generation, we need 200 of us in the next 20 years if we're really going to save a species. Did I see Jack Mail's scrub python? Yeah, I did. I'm slightly jealous. I wouldn't mind that. Why are koalas called bears if they're not related to them? Australians are not creative people when we name species. you know, when we first arrived in Australia, we did one of two things. I hope it's not breaking up, by the way, guys. I can't see my reception. But we did one of two things. We either named things after what they look like back home. So we've got a bird called the magpie, which I don't know if you know, Jomin, but all our Aussies will know the magpie. He was named after a black and white bird in Britain. He's completely unrelated. But we said, oh, we've got to call it a magpie. Looks the same. Wombats. You know my wombat Boo? They dig holes. They look nothing like a badger, but because they dig like a badger, we called them Australian badgers. It's why in Melbourne, where I grew up, there's Badger Creek and Badger Weir. If you would visit Australia, what part would I recommend to visit? It depends what you want to do. If you want to come to Australia and do all the cultural stuff that I'm not so into, you know, sip lattes and have deconstructed avocado omelettes or something, you probably want to go to Melbourne or Sydney. I was born in Melbourne and I avoid the city like the plague. Central Australia is meant to be a pretty amazing thing. I've never got to go to Central Australia yet. Nobody wants to babysit 200 animals. But I spent a lot of time in Queensland. And yeah, I love Queensland and I miss Queensland very much. Coastal Queensland, Townsville, Cairns. Worked in Central Queensland, Roma, which isn't very touristy, but if you like reptiles, there's a lot out there. Let's bring that up again. If you're in Australia, can we ever meet up? Maybe. It depends where you are. Australia is a bloody big place. I don't have people come to my place. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys watch Camp Kennan. Brilliant channel. But he's the same thing, you know. He's happy to help people out, but you can't really have everybody coming to visit your place because suddenly you need insurance and all these sorts of things, and it's a full-time job. Looking for both nature and city life. You know what, if you're just visiting and you want to do a bit of both, places like Cairns are pretty good. They got all the touristy stuff, the aquariums and nightclubs and pubs and all that. And you can get in a car at night time, drive along the highway and probably find you know, a couple of different pythons and maybe some crocodiles on the side. So yeah, Cairns is a pretty good bet. Darwin is another really good place to visit. Depends what you're into. If you're not in reptiles, you're into cute and fluffy stuff. Tasmania's well worth a visit. I did some bushwalks in Tasmania. And, Cradle Mountain to Lake St Clair, a 7 to 10 day bushwalk across the middle of Tasmania. And that was pretty cool. I don't know if that's touristy, but yeah, it was great fun. So I don't have visitors. No, I'm a bit of a hermit. I talk to all you guys online. Yeah, no, I don't have visitors to my place for my animals. Like, obviously, you know, mates come over and whatever, but I don't have people come over to look at my animals, just because it changes all the laws about how I can keep them. You know, I keep a lot of venomous snakes and stuff like that, and as soon as I have other people in my reptile shed and stuff like that, it just, yeah, makes things a little bit harder. And, you know, as much as I'd love to, if I say yes to one person, I'd love to fit all 2,370 of you subscribers in, but, you know, I can't get that many. I wouldn't have any time. Gippsland looks cool. Yeah, I spent a little bit of time in Gippsland. I haven't gone to Far East Gippsland, which I'd like to. But yeah, there's some very pretty country up there, especially up the high country is another good thing. During winter, if you're into skiing, I don't ski, but I snowboard a little. Do I have adders? I do have a couple of adders. Yeah, we don't know much about their history, and they were given to me by somebody who wasn't looking after them. Just lost interest in the lady's a bit older and she's in and out of hospital. So yeah, I've got 2 adders from her. Yeah, northern adders I have. Do you keep adders yourself or elapids in general? For those who don't know, elapids means Australian venomous snakes. I'm in Sydney for the holidays. I've visited Sydney once. It was like 1998. Yeah, and I was a little kid. Fuck yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, you know, adders are good fun. I don't keep them. I suppose I'm not as interested in them. Not that they're not great, as much as bigger snakes. I like keeping tigers, and I've got a king brown which I only just got not too long ago, a couple of months back. Those sorts of things. Because in the pit shows, you know, I can hold them by tail or hook, and I can present. Whereas the adder, it looks good on display, but I only need 1 or 2 things to put on display. So I like them, and I can see their popularity. If I was not doing shows, I might be a lot more into them. But I'm trying to start towards keeping local species. So I'm really chasing copperheads, but sorry about the shaking. Nobody seems to have any for me. So if you know of any Australian copperheads, as soon as I can get my license, yeah, would love a nice jar. Yeah, look, you know, I'm all for people keeping venomous snakes. My only piece of advice, and people hate hearing it, but look, it's boring, but it's true. Don't jump into it. Make sure you're familiar with working with venomous snakes first. Because, you know, you got the whole life to keep elapids. The adders that I've got, they come off a woman who's 72. And she's been keeping venomous snakes most of her life. And she's just decided that, you know, it's just a little bit too hard for her now. But yeah, you know, be sensible. Start off with getting some experience working with other people's snakes, and work yourself up from there. There's no rush. How many elapids in Australia are only mildly venomous? Look, it's a little bit open interpretation, like what's mildly venomous. You know, the little whip snake is very dangerous if you're a skink, but not if you're a person. But a few years ago, 10 years ago maybe, there was a bloke killed. Already do, good to know. Yeah, I don't mean to sound boring. I hate it when people say, don't get this, you're not ready. But I'm old now, I'm allowed to do that. But yeah, it depends what you class as mildly venomous. We've got roughly 140 species of snake, roughly 40 are non-venomous. And out of the 100 that are venomous, there's about 12 that are sort of considered like capable of inflicting a lethal bite. But that the remainder of that 100 could go anywhere from could be a dangerous bite if you didn't look after it to is essentially non-venomous, you know. But yeah, mildly venomous is a vague term because there's been mildly venomous snakes hurt people before. We've got 9 people out there. Who else is watching today? Where are you anyway, Jack? You're in New South Wales or something, I suppose? You probably said it before, do I have adders? Oh yeah, so that's what I was saying, Jomin. The two things why we call koalas bears. So the first part I told you, we basically name animals after what we thought they looked like. And people thought koalas looked like little bears, even though they're not related whatsoever. A dog is closer to a bear than a koala, and a koala is closer to a kangaroo than a bear. But yeah, we called them bears. The other thing that we often did, if we couldn't think of something that, you know, is looks like it at home, then we just named them after what they looked like. Like, you know, what do you think when we arrived in Australia we called the first brown snake? The brown snake, yeah. Yeah, we found a green one that lives in trees. It's the green tree snake. We're not a creative bunch. We have red kangaroos. We have grey kangaroos. We have eastern grey kangaroos. We have western grey kangaroos. But the problem with these names is they're crap. Jack, sorry mate, Jake. I'm, yeah, not quite with it. I've had a huge couple of days. I've done, I don't know, like 11 venomous snake shows in the last 48 hours at the Swan Hill show. So it's been a big weekend. But yeah, the reason these names are frankly crap is not all eastern browns are brown, not all tiger snakes are stripy. You know, every brown snake I get called out for in my area is actually a tiger snake with no stripes. And you know, from time to time you hear of people getting called out to tiger snakes that are browns with stripes. Saltwater crocodiles live in fresh water, and female red kangaroos are grey or blue. So names don't always work very well. So there you go, that's why koalas are called bears. G'day from the mid-north coast. Oh, I wouldn't mind being up there, MJ. Yeah. Be a bit warm, a few more reptiles. Is this my farm? It's a family farm. I work on it. There's a few other people that work here from time to time. We own our own place as well, which is pretty small, 100 acres or so. Whereas this place is 1,800 acres. So it's a bit of a bigger property, not huge, but, you know, getting there. You only have one type of lapid in the States. Yeah, that'd be the coral snake. You've got some, I think there's a couple of other species of coral snakes in the South America. But yeah, I think in the United States you only have the one coral snake. And these messages keep disappearing from me. Whoop. Do I have wedge-tailed eagles? Yeah, there's a pair of them that live on the farm. What happens if you get bitten apart from strapping a rag to stop the venom? Do you have antivenin? No, I don't have antivenin. You don't want to carry or you can't really carry antivenin yourself. It's got an expiry date, and it's very expensive. So, you know, you could spend tens of thousands of dollars keeping antivenin all the time that you have to keep throwing out because nobody gets bitten. You also don't want to strap it. You want to use a compression bandage from one end of your limb to the other, and you want to stop muscle movement, not blood flow. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but I've got a video on how to treat a snake bite. And yeah, if you want to know how to treat a snake bite, look that up. It'll be in our, you know, maybe a couple of months ago. But yeah, it's got all the best information you really want for that. In Queensland at the moment, but live in New South Wales near Canberra. Yeah, I've got some very good friends in Canberra. Friends I used to work with out the mines. We used to fly in and out, and yeah, I used to fly back here to Melbourne, or back to Melbourne. And they used to fly to Canberra and go and visit them from time to time. I wouldn't mind visiting again. You've got the Reptile Zoo there. Canberra Reptile Inc. is a really cool place to visit. I'd love to set up something like that one day. Oh yeah, do we have wedge-tailed eagles? We've got a pair of them that we see from time to time on the farm. They're very cool birds, as long as they stay away from my lambs, which not that we can do anything about them. Nature's nature. Do I think the Tasmanian tiger still exists? Honestly, no I don't. I know people don't like hearing it. I hope it does. I've never seen any convincing evidence. You know, as somebody who lives on a farm and we deal with a lot of foxes and there's, you know, often mange, a lot of the Tasmanian tiger photos I see look like foxes. The main thing, if you're actually getting really into it, the main thing you can see, I don't know if Cam will stand up for me. Cam, come here. Oh, she's not going to be a good example. But a fox has a longer hock between their back foot and basically their back knee. And a dog has the same. You know, they're very obvious, you know, that long between the foot and the first joint. Thylacines from all the skeletons and all the photos we know have a very short hock. So whether the photo's blurry or not, you can tell whether or not it's a thylacine. And I haven't seen one with the short hocks yet. So, you know, a lot of people, there's a couple of people who mean well, but then they'll argue that, you know, oh, it could be evolution and they could have changed to evolve and these longer hocks. But why? You know, they've had short hocks for the entire fossil record. Why in the last 200 years would they evolve long hocks? Nothing wrong with speculating it, but you have to have some evidence to back up your claims. So, yeah, no, I don't really think they exist anymore. Have I been to Canberra Reptile Zoo? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've visited there a couple of times. I think it's fantastic. I'd love to set up a place like that. Do I handle my adders? Not particularly. I handle all my venomous snakes. And, you know, I take my adders out of the tank to clean them and feed them and stuff like that. But they're just hooked. I don't really tail adders. Too easy to get bitten. And there is a lot of people out there, as soon as I get bitten, would be like, haha, I told you so. So, I'm pretty cautious handling my venomous snakes. Which, if you've seen some of my videos, you might not believe. It looks like free handling stuff. Heard saltwater crocodiles are moving further south. Is that true? You know, people will say it. I don't think crocodiles are moving into any new places. What's happening is, the further south you go, the more people there is. So, you know, 30 to 50 to 100 years ago, when we shot crocodiles out, they were shot out from the most built-up places first. And then hunters, when they ran out, they had to go further and further north or further inland to find more crocodiles. So, you know, the southern parts of their range, they've just been absent from for the longest. So we say, there's no crocodiles here. And there hasn't been for 50, 60, 70 years. But the flip side is they've been here for 200 million years. And they've had that time to spread wherever they want and wherever the environment allows them to. So if a place is suitable for crocodiles, they would have found it already. Now what they're doing is they're just returning to places where they were removed from. Yeah, there's the global warming issue, that perhaps they're moving further south because of global warming, and that might be an issue one day, but I don't see any evidence to believe it is so yet. There's some really old records of like lone male crocodiles turning up on the north coast of New South Wales, but they're not breeding populations. You know, it's a crocodile that maybe has had a fight, he's gone out to sea, he's gone further south than he really thought. He lived there for a few months. It's too cold for their eggs to incubate down there, you know. They want to incubate it around the 32 degrees. So, yeah. They can move further south, but they don't breed any further south. Is Tasmania in Australia? Yes. Tasmania is not connected, it's an island. But, you know, Hawaii is America, isn't it? So it's kind of like that, but much, much closer. You can sail a boat there in 10 hours or something. What were you saying, mate? Sorry about the giant finger. Volunteer there. I'll have to visit. I'd like to do some videos there. Now that I know Jake, not Jack, I've got an insider at Canberra Reptiles, who maybe I'll have to come up one day. Got to go. Enjoy the live stream. Need to do more of them when you get the time. I'll try. See you, buddy. Ethan, remembered it. Enjoy the rest of the school holidays. Yeah, that's what you were saying. It's wonderful that you've been there. We got sugar glides now. Yeah, I last went there like 4 years ago. So, a fair while. But it's cool to hear you got gliders. I keep squirrel gliders, which look very, very similar. But being endangered in Victoria, there's just a bit more, I suppose, educational benefit to them. Sugar gliders are pretty popular. I'd like a pair of each, but I can't have everything. Not until I do my shows. But yeah, what I was saying, like, half an hour ago, is I'm slowly pulling my finger out and getting around to Wicked Wildlife shirts. We've designed a shirt and a sort of a hoodie with the Wicked Wildlife logo on it for guys who are interested. Basically, I've ordered a couple to come to me first because I don't want you guys wasting your hard-earned money and then them arriving and looking like crap. So I've bought the first couple. If I like how they look, I'll show you guys and I'll put up a link where you can get them from. So basically, they're just, Wicked Wildlife, our logo and website on the back. If we ever meet, can you be in one of my videos? Oh, maybe. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, if that's a success, we might make a couple of other ones, with people's favourite animal or something on them. Who knows? But I'm always happy for ideas. And if you do, have any other ideas for things that we can use on our Patreon account, which is patreon.com/Wicked Wildlife, which is basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise the money to build a new reptile shed that, being out on a farm, we don't have great reception, is close enough to the house that I can build a studio in it and actually live stream in the reptile shed. So I can do videos of feeding and cleaning and stuff like that, which I said I wouldn't do at first because I like doing the natural history and the biology. But a lot of you guys seem to enjoy it. You want a hoodie? Well, remember it. I think it'll be another week before they arrive to me. I haven't bought enough to sell. I've just bought some to make sure I like them. Because like I said, I don't want you guys spending your money and it turning out crap. But if they turn out good, yeah, buy a hoodie. You can advertise me in the United States and, yeah, help us out to build this new shed, eh? So, yeah, I don't know if anybody else would be interested in those shirts or whatever, but, yeah, we'll try and come up with a couple of other designs and ideas. There's still 7 people on. Who else is out there today? Jomin and Jake. I think Awesome Kitty Cat's gone and Ethan's gone. I might have to go back to work soon. I do have a mob of cattle I've got to move, but I've got to swap dogs when I move. Well, Cam comes, but she needs a bit of backup. We've got Spud, who's a little bit crazy, which is why he's happy to work, some mean cows. How do I pronounce my last name? Petropolis. You've ever seen the movie The Castle? Eric Banner acts Con Petropolis. My dad's name's Con Petropolis. You'd like yours to be blue. Yeah, we're doing it through spring tea. We might change, I don't know. I've never done this before, so I'm guessing my way through it. But I'm pretty sure you can pick your colour. So I'll let you know when we get it. Beer, Petropolis. So there you go. If you ever forget how to spell it, watch The Castle and you'll remember it. Well, what we might do there, guys, we're starting to quieten down there and I should probably go back to work. I've got a whole week to get this list of jobs done, so you will do free shipping. I don't know. Basically, I'm not sending them from my house. It's through Spring Tea, where I do the design and then you guys order it. And Spring Tea is based in the United States, but I don't know what their shipping policy is. Just because, I don't have a couple of $1,000s to buy shirts and have them sitting at my house and then nobody buys them. Whereas Spring Tea, which is where the Kennan shirts come from, you watch Kennan, don't you, Jomin? Same place that makes this. What time is it here? It's 9:38 a.m. Yeah, so still in the morning. Coming up to morning tea time. Strange, New Zealand has no snakes, and Australia's the most deadly snakes. Yeah, basically, New Zealand's a fairly young country. You've grown out of the ocean volcanically, and it's just animals that have managed to get there somehow have bred up and colonized the country. Cool last name, sounds Petropolis. Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know, one of the Greek islands, Mykonos or Santorini or something like that. Crete. And maybe it doesn't sound like an island. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if they do free shipping or not. I'll find out the details once we actually have confirmation it's happening. How's that? And the details will all be online easy enough. But yeah, I just don't want to post it up. And, you know, I love you guys. I don't want you wasting your money if they look crap. But to start my day, I'm the same. So I'm off. But anyway, guys, have a good one. And take care.